third in a row against the Nashville Sounds with a 4-2 victory yesterday. They'll look to keep that positive momentum going when they take on the Redbirds tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Louisville Slugger Field. The 48-45 Cincinnati Reds were also in action over the weekend, but they were swept. Hey, Marcus. Yesterday, 8-7. Hey, Eugenio, is Steve calling in or something? Nothing today. Mets in Cincinnati, the first pitch at 7:10, but our coverage beginning at 6:40 on ESPN 680. And last but certainly not least, Lou City FC was in action over the weekend as they pulled off a 2-0 win against Atlanta United 2. They'll be back in action again on Friday when they take on Colorado Springs. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marques Maybin is next. This is SportsCenter.
At Kroger, we know there's never a good time to run out of fresh. Luckily, our delivery and free pickup make it easy to grab what you need. So whether it's a few extra buns for the backyard barbecue or some miscellaneous munchies for movie night, we make it easy to get back to being you. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
There's nothing more important than a child's health. That's why Body Armor Sports Drink is proud to partner with Walmart and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, raising funds for 156 children's hospitals across the U.S. Children's hospitals are on the front lines when it comes to protecting the health of our future generations, but they are not alone. Please join Body Armor Sports Drink to support the cause. Together, when we change kids' health, we change the future. Go to childrensmiraclenetworkhospitals.org to donate and learn more. That's childrensmiraclenetworkhospitals.org.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
That's his game. They don't get back. Look at his steal. Here's the steal. 3-on-1. Alley-oop. Oh, my goodness. Marques Maybin. And you certainly are in love with him here in Louisville. Marques in the open floor, hops incredible. Here comes Maybin off the steal.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's get ready for Marques Maybin. You about midway to the midday with Marques Maybin. And you can call in, I lay back and just listen to Marques Maybin. So sit back and relax and watch Maybin. Break it down like this. Woo!
Broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio. Time for Middays with Marques Maybin on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marques Maybin and Steve Rummage.
Ooh, welcome back. It's Middays with Marques Maybin. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. And people, once those media days hit, once those media weeks hit, that means the countdown has officially begun. Steve Rummage on vacation, Brian Hall in the booth.
Hey, sorry to, put down some people here. I hate, you want to see Steve, but you got me. But hey, we're going to get through this, all right? Because Steve's in Disney World having a blast right now, apparently.
He does look like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah. I mean, I always remember I have the nieces and nephews, so we go down to Disney every couple of years. We take them, and honestly, I think I have more fun than the kids do.
Here's the problem. I had such a good time doing those Disneys and Six Flags and all those good. I don't want to mess them up. Like I literally had the perfect trips, sometimes you seem like to be on more of a budget than other times. Like it just seems like the times I went, I don't know, maybe my dad was in the doghouse or something with my mom and he just spent money like freely and just, everybody get with it, whatever they want and just
get you the Mickey Mouse ears. Let's go.
Yeah. So I think the couple of times I went, I had so much fun. It's like, I don't want to screw that up. But anything, happy birthday, belated birthday weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Pretty low key birthday weekend. I had to work most of it, but yesterday I kind of got a little bit of a low key day. Went to a nice dinner out at Selena's, at Willow Lake, which is kind of down in Anchorage area. Never been there before. So it was pretty nice and stuff like that. Got some different clothes and gifts from different people. So that was good. It's always good to hear like from people that I haven't heard from in a while too, just because, you know, you get the random text message from somebody you haven't talked to in a year, or you get the Facebook messages and different things like that. So that's always fun.
You get the random girlfriend.
The ex-girlfriend
I miss you. Yeah.
hits you up. No, I didn't get that. So that's good.
Right. So, listen.
So it's a good birthday.
Are you an open phone with your girlfriend kind of guy?
You mean with like my exes? Do we still talk?
No. Your current girlfriend. Is she allowed to go through your phone? I mean, if you have a current girlfriend, is she allowed to go through your phone?
I mean, she doesn't. I mean, she's one of those girls, like, she doesn't really have like issues like that. That would more be like a me thing, I think, than a her thing. But no.
You go through phones that are just laying around.
No, I'm saying like it's really not an issue. To be honest, she's really not that type that worries too much about you know, who I'm talking to or what's going on
or what's being said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So you did have a good time.
Yeah.
You had a chance to get those beers, and
I got a few on Saturday night. Saturday night we went out. The girlfriend took me to Sapporo. We went to Sapporo, got some sushi, and then we went out around Bardstown Road for a little while. And it'd been a little while since I'd been out like heavy drinking.
Were you a lightweight?
I wouldn't say I'm a lightweight, but I would say that the morning was rougher than it used to be. Because I used to, you know, be able to handle my own and then get up the next day and I'm ready to go. And if I got to go to work or whatever, this one was like the first time in a while that I had kind of felt it a little bit and laid around in bed in the morning.
I don't know if I asked you this, and then we'll move right along. Hangover cure. Brian Hall's specialty, hangover cure.
Hangover cure. So we get the Pedialites. We put those in the fridge. Those always help. And then to be honest, like I just need food when I wake up and I'm that bad. So like I want the greasiest thing. So it's usually I guess I can mention names. So we go to Jersey Mike's sometimes and we'll get the Philly cheesesteaks or we'll go to just some, you know, burger place and get a burger or something like that. But I need something non-alcoholic pretty quick right away the next day. So I usually will get like a big Coke, something greasy, and maybe drink a little bit of Pedialyte. So
you're not a get up and bite the hair of the dog. Remember we had that conversation?
Yeah, we had this conversation like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what we'll do today, people. Of course, a lot of stuff. It's a Monday. Monday's always loaded. The show tonight. Are you too busy to attend the show?
Is it the late night one?
No. The show, the men's basketball team charity fundraiser.
Yeah. I wish I could make it. I got some meetings tonight.
Fair enough. Jackson, the fundraiser for Jackson's journey.
The
softball game. The build up. I'm kind of excited about that. I do think I am gonna come check it out. I'm getting a few too many people are just asking me to come hang out at the spot. So I'm feeling kind of like obligated. Even if I'm way in the outfield, see if I can get some
might as well
get a good spot. It is open admission. You know, they I don't think they request or they just ask for any donations. Yeah, they take, but free event. So we got to talk a little bit about the teams and the settings on that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say because this is one of those things where it could be some people could surprise you. It's one of those things where we're talking about athletes, so you're like, are these guys, some of them, and it's going to be really funny because some of them are going to be great. You're going to be like, dang, like they played some baseball in their day. And then some of them are going to be like, dude, how could you be that good of a basketball player, that athletic, and not be able to swing a bat?
Listen, I will do this. I wasn't going to dive straight down that road, but I could tell you kind of it got your mind kind of thinking a little bit. 8150 93.9, 3831 93.9. As far as the softball goes, this is my pitch to get out. This is one of my pitches to get you out to the game, to the softball game. And I hate that I'm doing this to my team. You know I love my team, but this is important. This is a venture into the psychology of not only the fan, but the human. You know, sometimes we talk about professional guys' contracts, right? And how much money they're making. And, you know, it's always the guy who makes the most money that makes the fan the most miserable when they don't hit free throws because every human being knows what it's like to hit a free throw.
Is this a Giannis conversation?
No. This is. I'll bring it back home. Everyone on the planet has hit one free throw from somewhere from the first day you touched the basketball to however old you are now, whatever age. If you haven't hit one free throw in your life, then first of all, you're definitely not listening to this show.
Your parents aren't parenting, right?
And you were raised by wolves. Those are
we'll go with that.
Those are two things that are absolute fact. Okay. You've hit a free throw. Now imagine you sitting at home and you just saw how much money, this guy signed for. This guy just signed for 4 years, $48 million, right? That's a regular player. 4 years, $48 million. And he missed the free throw.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, $48 million. I could have did that.
I can make a free throw.
Yeah, right. Every fan loves to have those moments, right? They love it. Now imagine spending your whole next year. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. This is the one time I'm gonna give y'all a chance to be bad people. And this is just me calling you a bad person. Go to the softball game and watch athletes that can do anything on the planet athletically except hit a softball.
Right. Or catch a fly ball.
Listen, the most athletic human beings you will ever see on the planet, you're going to see some swinging motions out of these guys that are absolutely pathetic.
And this is something that just kind of first came to mind when you said that. When you get like the celebrity athlete from another sport, say basketball or football, and they're throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game. And some of them bounce it to home plate or throw it over the catcher's head or
Carl Lewis.
Yeah.
50 Cent, but he's not an athlete, but just the most pathetic throws you have ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you use those moments to every day for the rest of your life. When you're mad at that person, it makes you feel good to know at least I can throw a baseball to the catcher, right?
Because it's going to be funny because like you said, some people are going to be great, some people are not, but some people are not going to know how to swing. Some people are not going to be able to catch a fly ball, and there's going to be somebody on the basketball team that can't throw a ball or something.
Listen, I guarantee y'all will have your opportunity. And again, I don't want you to ever say this out loud again, but I'm telling you, there's going to be some little deep down inside where you're in a really, really mad moment. You're going to say, I know why he missed that shot. He can't even hit a baseball or can't even hit a softball, So just for the record, you will get to see some of the greatest athletes on the planet swing and miss at big, fat, juicy, grapefruit pitches because, and again, I'm not going to like this either. Coach Mack, Coach Kettler, Coach McMahon's, Coach Pegues, listen, do not let them swing for the fences. You check their history. If they didn't play high school baseball, if they don't have organized baseball in their history past 14, to ban them from hitting home runs. Because again, while I was agitated with listening to Drew Diener bring up the idea of injuries in a celebrity softball game, I do have to admit, you will hurt your back swing trying to swing for the fences. If that's not a motion you regularly participate in, do not get out there and swing for the fences. But the other thing, of course, that was kind of my funny sales pitch. The other sales pitch, it's time to see them and see what your players look like this season. It's time to see your guys moving around.
That's why you're really going
100%. It's time to see your guys moving around. Listen, you want to see them compared to each other. You're going to get your surprises of, imagine when you see Mike James on first base and you see, Jared West or L. Ellis run up to him. You're going to say, oh my God, he's huge, or imagine if you see Roosevelt Wheeler out in center field and something gets hit and you see him get on his horse. You're going to say, oh my God, that's our 7-footer playing center field. And he's fast.
Jumps up and robs a home run.
Oh, now that'll be something.
Because he's 7 foot. I mean, he probably doesn't even have to jump. He just kind of puts his glove up against the wall.
No, listen, but again, you get what I'm saying. Like, you're going to see some of you guys. And again, this is a smart Louisville fan base. You're going to be able to still see coordination. Like, you're going to see the way people move, the way people react. Just and get to see their size. Okay, so I got to ask this question, Brian. Brian's picking his team. Grab 5 people right now that you think can play softball.
Who?
And Texas, I'll read off what you say. Give me your 5 guys you think can play softball or baseball.
All right. I'm trying to think about the full roster here. So I think
I'll put Sam in already.
Okay.
He just looked he looked like
Smooth.
He was having too much fun. I'll put him in the top 5 at least. He Texas kid. I imagine he played a little baseball.
I think Noah Locke would be a good baseball player.
Really? Why do you say Noah Locke?
It's just like the taller guys always get the basketball, like, oh, you must play basketball. Like, once you hit 6'4" or over.
Right.
When you're under and you're athletic, usually those are guys that like can play like multiple sports. Like, they're guys who are good, like they excelled in basketball, but like they could play some baseball or some football.
Texter, and it's for a good cause. Yes, we open saying it was for a good cause. So yeah, I wasn't like ignoring that, say the reason to get out. Texter says, will they let big ticket play? Do you want to see Sidney Curry out there?
I want to see him as a DH.
Just get up there one time.
I want to see him swing the bat. I'm not necessarily wanting to see him run around the field.
He's
the first baseman catcher that you throw up because he's a home run hitter.
Texter says Matt Cross.
I could see Matt Cross. I was actually going to put him.
Come on, everybody. Why did you say Matt Cross?
Hey, what are you saying? What are you trying to hit around here?
Why is Matt Cross all of a sudden popping up all over the YouTube channel?
He seems like he'd be a good pitcher.
Listen, I hope you say it's because he's from Boston.
No, it's because he's got those long arms, I mean, it's like Randy Johnson out there.
And listen, and if Matt Cross, he's probably the worst one out there.
I know.
Yeah,
so they're saying that he's probably gonna be the worst.
It says Curry will hurt the ball. Ellis, Locke, West. I think they're going by your theory. The shorter guys just have to be able to swing a bat at least a little bit. I would.
Now, of the bigger guys, I think Jalen Withers could be a decent softball player.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. He just seems like a guy that, I don't know, like he seems like one of those guys that's not just athletic in basketball. He's athletic just in general.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Jalen Withers would probably be one of the last on my list, Brian.
See, I thought
only because I think his growth spurt, it probably like threw his coordination all off, like he, you remember how he showed up on campus like late and he was all underdeveloped and he's just like so small. I just think his body was just now catching up to him like last year.
No, I agree.
In the season. So,
but I kind of thought the same. Well, not necessarily the same route that you're going. I would have thought the same thing about Sam though. Sam to me seems like he's a guy who's just played basketball his whole life. It's like eat, sleep, breathe basketball.
Now there's a bunch of Dre's.
I actually definitely had him on my list. He was actually going to be maybe my number 1. I just see him as being but I'm sticking with Noah Locke as my number 1. I think that, but I don't know. There's something about Dre, It's just something about
yeah,
Dre.
I know. Dre Davis kind of has some little look to him, like he's the guy that pops up and says, "Yeah, I was all stating as a sophomore, and then I quit and just started going straight to basketball." I could see him.
Well, he's kind of like a dog, and he's got that like competitive mentality that you're
in
like,
every sport.
No, this guy doesn't play a sport that he's not good at.
Dre Davis first home run. Is that a prediction? Ellis, West, Williamson, Dre, and Gabe. There's no way. Can Gabe swing a bat?
No. Dude, he's not. I just can't see him being coordinated enough.
He's big. I'm going to watch some 7-footers swing the softball. 6'8", 7 foot.
That's what I was going to say. Of the big men, who do you think's the best?
Golly. Of the big men, who do I think is the best? Of the front court, who do I think is the best? Would it be ironic if it could be Sidney Curry?
I do. I think he's the best of the big men.
He's a big lefty. He
not all around game, but hitting wise, I think Sidney Curry will be the best.
He seems like he values strength a little bit. Like he might be the one.
How good do you think JJ will be?
Oh man.
Keep in mind, Miss Trainer might be listening.
You know what? He's late to basketball. He had to be doing something.
Right.
So maybe he was playing some baseball early on.
Maybe.
Maybe. And he's from down there in Bardstown. Surely he was playing some baseball, right?
I'm going to stick with your Sidney Curry. I think Sidney Curry will be the best. I mean, and it's strictly probably just going off size, being like, this dude, if he makes contact, he's going to crush it.
Texter says, Mike James said JJ is bad.
Look, Mike James is one that I think would be good.
He's another one of those all around.
Yeah. I think the ones that I kind of got locked in for my top 5 right now are Dre Davis, Noah Locke, and Mike James. Or what did I say?
Listen, wait a minute, 1 second. Mom's trainer did just chime in.
Okay.
Mom's trainer says, no, JJ told y'all he is bad.
Okay.
So fair enough. We did get that answer. Thank you, Mom's trainer, for confirming that we need to move JJ down on our power rankings.
So my top 3 right now are Dre Davis, Noah Locke, and Mike James.
I'll go.
I'm gonna throw Jared West in there.
Yeah, it's almost like the guards are cheating,
right?
Yeah, just if you're 6'3", you can swing a bat decent.
Yeah,
like
Jared West is playing shortstop for the team.
Yeah, I guarantee he's going to be in one of those positions.
Yeah,
like surely. I tell you what, I did not expect to go all the way down that road. This is the early one. I'll reset it because we got to have some serious conversation, some football conversation, some basketball conversation. And I'll just reset it. Quick commercial break. Middays with Marques Maybin on 939 The Ville.
The 2021 finals are here, and only one team will be left standing when the final buzzer sounds. At TwinSpires Sportsbook, if you sign up and place a $10 outright wager on the eventual champ, you can walk away feeling like you just won the title with an extra $200 in your account. Just register using code HOOPS200. That's TwinSpires. Download the app and bet today.
Void where prohibited. For terms and conditions, visit twinspires.com. Must be 21 or present in Indiana to bet. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-800-9.
No, what's it for?
We depend on the internet for so much these days, but not all Kentuckians have access to reliable broadband service.
Is that the one where Sam is? Yeah.
Connection Project, and we now provide free
right because that's old
parking lot.
It's a classic though.
AFB locations across the state. You see, Kentucky Farm Bureau does more than just insure homes and auto.
Wasn't that a white guy?
Or that more connected. Kentucky Farm Bureau. Big on commitment.
You look more like Gabe.
Let's be honest. The real estate market in Kentucky is booming. And whether you want to buy or sell a home, now is the perfect time to do it. With interest rates at an all-time low and programs that can get you in a home for no money down. Want to learn more?
I think so.
Call Derek A. Stewart. P. Pirtle.
See, I think L, West, and Locke are locks.
And help you with all your realtor needs. So don't waste another second. Call Derek A. Stewart at 502-314-9868 today.
I'm Ethan Moore.
And I'm Taylor Lynch.
Check out Louisville Sports Live, the city's longest running all U of L sports talk show, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here on 93.9 The Ville.
All the best local and national guests talking all things Louisville football, basketball, and recruiting.
Every Wednesday at 6 right here on 93.9 The Ville. And follow us on Twitter at Elville Sports without an O Live.
And check out the website, LouisvilleSportsLive.net. Go Cards.
We are Louisville's hometown sports station. ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville, with the most play-by-play of the biggest events, including the NCAA tournament and Final Four.
Wire-to-wire winner for the Baylor Bears.
The College Football National Championship.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
The NFL and Super Bowl 54.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl 55 champions, led by Tom Brady.
The NBA Finals.
The Lakers conquer the bubble.
The World Series.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have
Luke texted me.
And
He said West is going to be a baller.
featuring exclusive coverage.
Yeah.
Full Crown. Big.
He said, I bet West is a baller out there.
ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville.
Hey everyone, I'm Brandon Lang. When Matthew McConaughey plays you in a movie, as he did me in 2005's Two for the Money, you have to maintain a certain image. That's hard to do when you're going bald. I needed to do something, and it needed to be done fast. Parsley Waldman's Hair Center came to the rescue. Louisville and the Midwest Premier Hair Treatment Center not only gave me my hair back, but my self-confidence as well. Go to hairsurgery.com and find out how you can start your journey back to a full head of hair today. I can tell you firsthand, from the minute you walk in the door to the time you leave, you are treated as if you were in a 5-star hotel. And now that it's been a year since my surgery, I look back at pictures from a couple years ago. I don't even look like the same person. The procedure was an amazing success, and it has totally reframed my face. Go to hairsurgery.com and find out not only how affordable it is, but how you can get your hair back today. Visit hairsurgery.com. That's hairsurgery.com. And tell them Brandon Lang sent you.
You can do anything at GEA. I came in, wasn't expecting really to make a future out of it. It was just a job to me. Jump in all the way, give it your all. You can do anything.
GE Appliance Park is now hiring permanent full-time positions for all shifts with immediate benefits. Learn more about this great opportunity and apply at makeitathepark.com. GE Appliances. We make good things for life.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
part of the reason you go. And my point, like, I get like you. My point with the money was that I get being a first round pick, you get guaranteed money. So the thing is do you take the guaranteed money or do you take a chance at the title? And to me, I would take a chance at the title because at this point you're picking hairs if you're the last pick in the first round anyway, just to claim that you were a first round pick. I'm like, no, I'd rather have a lengthy career and win a title and get a ring.
Okay, texters, really quick. You can hit me on the YouTube channel. I just want to ask that question in general. What spot on the draft would you say, no, I'd rather take that draft spot? Let's just say Jordan can win an NBA title tomorrow. He was the 45th pick. Now, if you were the 33rd pick or something, something like that, you're moving up the draft board, but you're on all garbage teams, and this team is going to win an NBA championship. At what pick, Brian, would you say, no, I'd rather go at that pick? Like, would it be around what? I don't even want to say a number. What number pick would you say? Look, forget that championship. I want to go at this spot.
See, I think still that 45 range, I think you're still getting players that could make a career in the NBA. I think when you hit that 50 mark and you get 50 to 60 in that range, that you're kind of hoping to make a roster.
Just leave it at 45. You can move up the board to get, up the draft board. You still kind of are turning this into a professional career. I'm just saying, your first year, would you rather get picked number 25 or go 45 and win an NBA championship? Pick number 25 in the draft or pick 45 and win an NBA championship in your first year.
I would
You understand?
say
I'm just trying to find that number that you get picked high enough to make it not worth it and say, you know what, forget the NBA championship.
I think it's right around 20. I think right around 20 is where I'm like, you know what? I'm just outside the lottery. Like, I'm a solid first round pick. I still think like that back end 25 to 35 range is interchangeable. And a lot of it has to do with there's a lot of overseas players involved in that area.
Y'all, listen, hold on. We might have some people on the text line telling stories.
Okay.
I'd have to be a lottery pick. No, you wouldn't care about an NBA championship that much. I don't know about you. Look, I don't know. I'd take 29 because it's guaranteed contract. 45, you got guaranteed to be on the team by the playoffs. I think a lot of people would, for pick number 28, they would say, I don't care about no
well, it goes back
no
to what I was saying.
championship.
It's the guaranteed money. Like, as long as you're in the first round, you're guaranteed a roster spot. You're guaranteed money. We're talking about the first year. The first year, because the second round pick's not guaranteed a roster spot. They got to earn it.
Could be the number one pick. Give me that championship. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Go ahead and grab that. I don't know, y'all. I'm reading a whole bunch of I don't care. I'll take the championship over anything. That might be the version of the Twitter warrior a little bit. Because listen, going 22 in the draft is a big deal too. Hold on. Says got to be top 10. Milton Billy Thompson have rings with the Lakers. But I'd rather have the Mitchell career.
But another thing too that kind of an outlying factor is usually this is your first contract. So the first contract that you sign is big money, even though it may not be as big a money of a deal that you're gonna get. But to you, it's the most important because you're like, man, this is the first time I've signed a sheet of paper and made $1 million.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the real value of the championship. Do we got somebody right there?
Dana.
We'll jump to it. Dana, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away, my man.
What's going on, Marcus, man? I think it's really a situational thing because you got a lot of these kids coming in. They've been hit hard, financially. I think a lot of them would say, pardon me for saying this, but screw that ring. I'm trying to get this money.
Right.
I mean, no, it's just the realism of the situation. You got a lot of kids out there that's hurting, and those few $1 million coming out of the gate is going to mean a whole lot more coming out of the gate than a ring. It's just me, though. But if it was me, I'd be willing to sacrifice that ring for a top 10 spot. That's me, though.
A top 10 spot, and anything after that, you need the ring.
Yeah, that's me, though. I guess I'm a little bit of a different cat, but that's what I'm thinking.
No, Dane, I do appreciate the call. I mean, that
was the point I was trying to make.
and the ring is like compound interest. It's like you just can't touch it, but it's going to be able to make you money along. Look, Texas says, ask Barkley and Patrick Ewing would they sacrifice? They would sacrifice a lot. You're not trying to be Karl Malone. Like,
I think most people would take the Dana route, but they wouldn't even say top 10. They'd say like top 20.
Former NBA champion joins us today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always going to be able to get into a different room if you have an NBA championship. And Jordan Ward has scored in these NBA championships.
Yeah, no, I agree. But here's another point that I think. So we're talking about just your first year. You're excited just to be in the NBA in general, and it's a new experience, and the fandom and everything that you're dealing with. Like, it's excitement in itself. So, like, you don't necessarily need the NBA Finals to be excited the first year. I think the NBA Finals becomes something that a player values more after they've been in the league for a couple of years. And what I mean by that is they realize after a few years how tough it is to get there and how they're only going to have so many opportunities if they're in the league for however long, and that they have to take advantage of this. So it becomes a bigger deal, I think, over time.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. I thought I heard something in the background. I didn't know if something was
some
going
people
on.
yelling out the hall.
Okay. Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. This is what I want to do. I want to pull out of that conversation. I did not expect to be talking Jordan Wara lottery ratio versus ring. I did want to talk about something a little more serious today. It's, we're getting to the point. Like I said, we had all of our excitement, the Kofi Coburn excitement versus the Marques Carr flurry. I guess I would say that. And by the way, I'm not going to let y'all get away with this Curry and Kofi, or I'm sorry, Carr and Kofi are the same thing. And listen, I know that everyone's trying. Listen, Louisville fans, don't let them get away with this one. Anytime they mention them in the same breath, you do your best to check them. I had a little experience this weekend. I just want to tell you about it because I want to talk about the roster of the University of Louisville moving forward. There's a decision that I made yesterday, and thinking about it, it's a very unpopular decision, but I do want to present it to you. I came into the studio yesterday, and there's a guy who takes care of this studio on Sunday. Anybody who's been in here, Pat knows, Phil Baker knows. There is a Kentucky fan. And when I say fan, people, he is an absolute fanatic for Kentucky. I mean, and I'm telling you, if he sees me, he hits the ground running. I mean, it's the slick talk. Just you can't do anything without getting a slick UK fan pot shot. Yeah, team. And I'm telling y'all, on the radio, a couple of people say, "Oh no, Kentucky fans aren't buying. They're not buying into that stuff." I'm telling y'all, I had no idea. It was almost like the moment I realized everybody didn't move every 3 years. A friend of mine jumped into a live last night, and it just kind of reminded me, being in the military, brat, you moved every 2.5, 3 years. You moved, you got stationed at a new place. You met new kids. Everybody you knew, you just knew everybody moved. And the day I found out that I was here and most of the people around me had been there their entire life, it was like a culture shock to me. On Sunday, yesterday, our resident Kentucky fan, the weekend maintenance, he says to me, "Man, what is Cal doing?" Or he said, "What?" No, he said something like, "What was Cal thinking?" And I was like, "Man, I know, right?" I mean, that was the first thing we said. I was like, I know, right? He said, yeah, man. We already loaded enough. Why would he go after? Why would he even be talking to Kofi? I looked and I'm like, what did you just say? Man, like what we already got all we need. I mean, we stacked like the year we went 40-0. He's like, and Kofi and Oscar, or no, he said Kofi and that dude from WVU, they're like the same player. I was like, what? And people from that moment on, it was like, man, we got to find out. We don't got enough minutes to go around because we loaded at all positions. I was just like, oh my God, it really worked. Like that spin job, it really, really worked. Okay, so let's get back to it. That was the Kentucky. After we've done the roster talk of Kofi and Carr and the spin cycle and all that stuff. Here, I went from thinking we need to add another point guard. And then I went to thinking we need to add another, a dog scorer. And I'm thinking about what would I add with that with that last scholarship? I was racking my brain to say what would really be the important thing. And then I try to put myself in the coaching staff shoes. What do they feel like could make them win? And I'm just thinking about all the different positions and the comfort. And then it hit me. We should be done. Not only should we be done, we should not be entertaining any more picks. And again, barring anybody that's first team all conference Power 5. I'll give it. I'll go top 7. Those aren't going to be available. Top 7, mostly first team all conference, last second, transfer. That's the only person that I would take right now to fill a scholarship. Outside of that, I would not touch a player. Not only that, I wouldn't let the word get out that I was even speaking to any other players, because there's a couple reasons. I want to throw all your concerns out. If somebody gets I word, okay, all the rules go out the window. Fair enough. If some, like I said, and I don't mean somebody's rehabilitation is going slow. I mean, truly, they're out. Okay, you get that? Okay, all bets are off. But let's talk. This is me for the best team that I can have. They're doing the show today, the baseball show. I usually have zero sympathy for the kids' emotions about the recruiting and them bringing people in. And I don't say zero emotions. I'll help them work through the situation. I'll tell them it's a situation. It's normal. It's normal to have guys coming in, talent upgrades, positional upgrades. That's a normal thing. I'm okay with that. I would tell all the players this is a normal thing. But they have dealt with a big overturn. The uncertainty of the coaching staff situation. That's hellacious pressure on kids. Between the ability to transfer immediately after this last season. Coach Mack, whatever however his depth is, his substitution patterns, all the things that are tough to be a basketball player. We dealt with them all. We dealt with them. Listen, you deal with all your people wanting you to transfer and get more playing time. You lost 2 coaches in one off season. You lost 2 coaches in one off season. There was one coach came immediately, which you were already comfortable with, and another coach, I'll just say this, an unknown in Ross McMains. So that all that time of Who's going to be the new coach? Who's going to be the new coach? Who's going to be the new coach? That's pressure. So there's that. Then you start getting your additions, your Matt Cross. Then you get your Sidney Curry. Then you're going through an entire summer of not knowing who's going to get added. And every time a name comes up, are we going to get this guy on campus? So you're entertaining these new guys, and just the amount of uncertainty, it's time for that to be over with your team. I think now that you're hitting the base, the softball game, I think your camaraderie is starting to move up the importance level. Your new workouts, your new offensive system, your Ross McMain's vitamins, all your daily workouts, like your routines are starting to, you're starting to get a little more comfortable. Now again, I'm not here to baby the players, but at some point it's beneficial to your team to start knowing what their team is, knowing, okay, now I got to learn about these guys. Now I'm building the trust exercise. And so much stuff happens during a season. So much stuff happens, a mid-season transfer. You're going to want to have a scholarship because somebody is going to regret going back to school. And I would bring them on the team past the point of eligibility. What I mean is, once they can't be eligible to play this year, then I don't mind bringing them into the team because they're a practice player. They're a guy getting ready for next year. They're a guy who you can get to know and work out with, but they're not a threat. But the looming threat that has been over these kids' heads, the NCAA threat, the transfer portal threats, the recruiting, over recruiting, you dealt with the Dino Gaudio situation. Just, you haven't had solid feet in a locker room for quite some time. Even the Carlik Jones might come back thing. It's just like, you've really had your fair share of uncertainty as a player on the team. It would be nice that as of July, was it 18th, 19th?
Today's the 19th.
As of July 19th, to absolutely know this is the team that, this is the team that I'm going to need to go into the season with. This is the team that's going to be preparing to go against whoever, like that. Once I thought about the entire big picture, I'm like, your team needs to be set. And again, some last second, first team all SEC, all of a sudden just, I'm from right across the border. I need to get back closer to home. Some crazy stuff is going on. Okay, now that guy, of course, there's always some kind of exceptions to the rules, but now we're at the point, on the 19th, today, I say, if I'm Coach Mack, the next time I go public, I will say, barring some extreme circumstances, we are not looking to add another player to this basketball roster. There's that sigh of relief is not a bratty sigh of relief. That sigh of relief that, that all your players are going to get. Okay, now you start in the confidence building part of it. Because if you're always entertaining, and again, this is harsh. I'm normally harsh on this stance, but this is the time where I'll pull a Coach Satterfield. This is the time where I'll love them up. This is the time where I start saying, I'm extremely confident with the team we have that we can, we have a shot at, a deep tournament run, and if we get the right things to click, we'll be in the Final Four. Like, I am ready for Coach Mack to settle in and start building their confidence, saying, with the team we put together, the depth, the talent, the assistant coaching staffs, we've reached the point where, I think we can compete with any team in America with the E12 scholarship, with the 11, 12, whatever scholarship players we have right now. I think it's time for them to at least get that one extra back of their mind. Because again, they're getting asked that question right now. They're still reading, tags about, Marcus Carr, who we need to add, or we don't have enough, like those things. Again, you can't let the social media element dominate your life, but it's time for a pressure release on the roster management of the team. So from this point forward, and again, 8150-939 is the number, 3831-939 is the text line. If you don't agree with me, that I do understand, because talent getting acquisition. Sorry about that. Talent acquisition is the number one game, but outside of winning, chicken or egg, whichever one is that.
Your point is at some point that team chemistry and everything has got to be factored in.
Yes.
You can't, we're looking from a fan perspective and we're sitting here saying, man, yeah, add all the talent we can. But when you hear these names like Marcus Carr pop up, a guy like Jared West is like, why are little fans so excited to get this guy? Like, do they not believe in me, or, is this not, and so at some point you got to say, look, I'm happy with what I got. Let's focus on these guys and let them know that there are guys, and this is what we got going forward.
Yeah, no, it's 100% time. So again, I'm going to start analyzing this roster.
Medical expertise known around the world is now in your community and more accessible than ever before. The power of you is now at more hospitals, more medical centers, and more physician practices, along with Brown Cancer Center and Fraser Rehab, all dedicated to making the impossible possible. That's the power of you. To learn more, visit ulhealth.org.
You're listening to 93.9 The Ville, your home for the Diener Show, 7 to 10 a.m.
This expansion is for 12 on here rather than 8. The thing that I wonder then at that point, though, what becomes of the regular season?
Middays with Marques Maybin, 10 to noon.
This is a year Louisville basketball is looking to make a run.
And afternoons with Mark Ennis on The Drive.
The schools are going to be super conservative at first, but then eventually everyone's going to play ball here together.
This is 93.9 The Ville and the ESPN Louisville app.
We are in the thick of summer, and with the hottest days of the year ahead, you are about to find out how strong your cooling system is. And if you find out that it's not ready for the long summer ahead, then call DFH Company today at 968-6222. Right now, when you buy a qualifying Train HVAC system, receive 18 months special financing. It's hard to stop a train, so call DFH 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval.
Here's what you missed on the Diener Show.
Yeah, recruiting can be a crapshoot. There's going to be misses, and there's going to be hits, but it's not a total crapshoot. 4 stars hit more often than 3 stars. That's just the truth. I mean, it's a little dismissive to say it's a total crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot individually, but taken as a whole.
Macro, it's not really a crapshoot.
Give me 10 4 stars. I bet you're happy.
Weekday morning, 7 to 10 on 93.9 The Ville, ESPN 680 and 105.7.
Are you looking for your next opportunity in the workforce? Look no further. UPS Jobs Kentucky is now hiring at upsjobsky.com. Right now, we are offering up to $18.50 an hour. You may even be eligible for a program that helps you graduate college completely debt-free and could also include a $325 a month living allowance paid directly to you. Follow us at UPS Jobs Kentucky and apply today at upsjobsky.com.
An official broadcast partner of the University of Louisville, WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville. Time now for an ESPN Louisville Sports Center update.
Good morning, I'm Brian Hall. The Sports Center update brought to you by BJ Heating and Cooling. BJHeatCool.com. Call the experts you can trust. The NBA Finals continue to roll along on Saturday, and ESPN Louisville's your exclusive home for them this year, as the Bucks took a 3-2 series lead over the Phoenix Suns with a 123-119 win. Despite 40 points by former Kentucky Wildcat Devin Booker, and Giannis led the way for the Bucks with 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. The Milwaukee Bucks will have their first chance to close out the series tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Moving on to baseball news, former Louisville catcher and number 1 overall pick Henry Davis has now officially signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it includes a $6.5 million signing bonus. Sticking with baseball news, the Louisville Bats were in action over the weekend as they won their third in a row against the Nashville Sounds with a 4-2 victory yesterday. They'll look to keep that positive momentum going when they take on the Redbirds tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Louisville Slugger Field. The 48-45 Cincinnati Reds were also in action over the weekend, but they were swept by the Milwaukee Brewers, losing yesterday 8-0. Eugenio Suarez went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and they'll look to rebound today when they take on the New York Mets in Cincinnati with first pitch at 7:10, but our coverage beginning at 6:40 on ESPN 680. And last but certainly not least, Lou City FC was in action over the weekend as they pulled off a 2-0 win against Atlanta United 2. They'll be back in action again on Friday when they take on Colorado Springs. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marques Maybin is next. This is Sports Center.
I'm former Louisville basketball player Luke Hancock. When the NCAA tried to take away the Most Outstanding Player Award from the 2013 tournament, I got it back thanks to Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is the personal injury firm that fights for the people, and their team treats clients like family. Morgan & Morgan changed my life, and if you've been injured in a car crash, at work, or in a slip and fall, they may be able to change yours. For a free consultation, dial Pound Law on your cell phone. That's Pound 529, offices Louisville.
We are Louisville's hometown sports station. ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville, with the most play-by-play of the biggest events, including the NCAA tournament and Final Four.
Wire-to-wire winner for the Baylor Bears.
The College Football National Championship.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
The NFL and Super Bowl 54.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl 55 champions, led by Tom Brady.
The NBA Finals.
The Lakers conquer the bubble.
The World Series.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series.
And the Kentucky Derby.
And they're into the stretch.
Featuring exclusive coverage of the Triple Crown. Big game, big race, one place. ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville.
Oh, ship! I need to get this package downtown by noon.
Don't worry. There's a brand new on-demand delivery service by Z-Trip. It's Z-Shipping.
Are you shipping me?
No, we're shipping your packages.
For the quickest, affordable on-demand courier service, visit zshipping.com. zshipping.com. Let Z-Ship help you with your delivery needs. That's zshipping.com.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
I use it. I tried to use that song for my first podcast, my first official This is before ESPN Louisville. This is before I was on the other station. I tried to do a podcast years and years ago from the kitchen with the echo sound and everything. And of course,
I got 5 on it.
Of course, that was my intro.
Well, I know when we first started, before we got the great mixed down version from Ken Harbison, before that, you used number 1 spot.
Really?
Coming for that number 1 spot.
Really?
That was our intro song for a little while.
Wait a minute. When I first started hearing the radio, I was using "I'm Coming for That Number 1 Spot" as my intro.
Pretty sure.
Now,
Still remember that.
Now that is phenomenal. I did not know that. But
I've been with you since day one, pretty much.
Listen, and I'm thinking to myself,
almost,
you arrogant prick.
Hey, you were excited, man. I was excited for you. You were doing the Diener show twice a week, and everybody's like, man, Marcus needs his own show. Marcus needs his own show. And then I remember we had that, I think it was like 24-hour coverage going on for something that had happened. And that's when you hosted your first show by yourself. I produced it. Then you shortly after that's when you got your show.
Listen, that is funny. I'm glad somebody told me that. Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me that. So here's the thing, people. I got to do a couple of things. I got to remind people. First and foremost, I did just adjust the temperature, and I'm glad I have the ability to do that. And even though it changes automatically at the top of the hour, it's still important for me to remind you that temperature control is definitely one of the most valuable resources one could have. And if you agree, the DFH company is definitely the company for you. Simply dial 968-6222. Or you can even look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Look into the Mitsubishi mini split that we use every single day in our 93.9 studios for that hard to heat or hard to cool room in your home, the room that has the greenhouse effect, or the room that's just cold on the edge and it's just hard to adjust the temperature. Inquire about the Mitsubishi mini split. Again, 968-6222, or you can look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Lawrence, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind, my man? Lawrence, you there? Lawrence, going once, going twice. Lawrence, oh man, that's disappointing. I was excited to hear from Lawrence. I hadn't heard him in a while. Well, let me just remind people. We'll give him a chance, and maybe he has to reach back in. That UPS Jobs Kentucky is now offering up to $18.50 an hour for part-time package handler positions. Weekly attendance bonus of $50 still in place for those that work the Sunday shift. Get your tuition paid 100% at the University of Louisville. Make $18.50 an hour and be eligible for academic bonuses through the Metro College program. UPS Jobs Kentucky will also be hosting a summer hiring event on Saturday, July. Oh, they just had that. Well, I guess you missed it, but they did have an event. You should have attended, but it's not too late. For more information, go to upsjobsky.com. Click apply now to complete your application today and schedule your appointment. They will have on-site food trucks. Oh, they did have on-site food trucks and TV getaways and all that good stuff. But if you missed it, you missed it. But you should still reach out to upsjobsky.com. So here's what happened, Brian. I want you to tell me a relatable situation to this one. Brian Hall, you have had one time that stands out in your mind. Callers, feel free to chime in on this. Texters, YouTubers, feel free to chime in on this one. You have had one time. Actually, it's two situations. But the first one, the one that I'm seriously talking about, really quick, while we're having a little fun, you have found money in your pocket, or you have been returned money that you didn't know you had coming. Something stands out in your mind when you got money you didn't know you had coming. 1 second, because I got to tell you something, man. I was going to set up that conversation with the long drawn out story, but I'll give you the finish line first. People, I do a lot of sponsorships. I do a lot of events. I do a lot of things. People. I've been public speaker. And I do get compensated for my powerful messages sometimes, and I get compensated, right? So Brian, I had this one situation where I was to be compensated for, right? Okay. Event, whatever.
Was agreed upon beforehand.
Yeah, it was agreed upon. We got invoices, we got the contracts were signed, all the agreed upon, stipulations, right? So after the thing, it was kind of like one of those, do you want a check or do you want direct deposit? Some blah blah blah. Hey, I got all the merchant utensils, and then they say, hey, you want paper, you want to do a PayPal invoice, right? Okay, so it's not one I normally do, but I'm like, okay, I can mess with it, right? So I get on PayPal, which I usually do Venmos and Cash Apps and stuff like that. So I get on there, I put together a little invoice. They got the preset template, and all you gotta do is just put it in, goods and services rendered, and
I gotta do it every week.
Right. Nice simple thing, right? So I sent it out and just I asked for a confirmation email and never got that. And, it's all good. I sent the regular email, just let sit, blah blah blah. I reach out to our intermediary. I say, hey,
Event's already over. You've already.
Oh yeah.
done it?
Oh yeah. Event's over. Right.
I don't know if you're trying to get prepaid or like
Listen,
event's over and
Brian,
you're trying to get paid now.
Event's over. I go intermediary and say, hey, just checking my thing. Weeks. Going look. Week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. So now my email is a little the agreed upon. I have not received blah blah blah. And they have a little bite to them now. Just, am I to understand this will not be taken care of?
Well, after it drags on for a while, a little bite's understandable.
Yeah, right. So now we're at roughly day 58.
50? What? That's 2 months.
Listen, we're at day 58. So this is what happens, Brian. The other night, I was asked a question. Somebody said, hey, I'd like to, donate, or donate to. First, they wanted to do some business and donate to the channel, kind of simultaneously. Let's go. They said, okay. They said, I don't use the Venmo and the Cash App. They would say PayPal, and I'm like, I don't even want to look. I'm mad at PayPal because my money didn't come in, right? And I'm like, man, I don't even use PayPal anymore, or whatever. So anyway, I just log into PayPal. The money's there.
How long ago did they send it?
Oh, not that long. It can't be too long because every time I sent the email, I was checking it. You know what I'm saying? To see if it sent. But yeah, like I said, it had to take 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Something short of 2 months, right?
It only took them 7 weeks to get back to you.
But here's the problem, Brian. I had some negative emotions towards them, right?
I would too.
And I didn't express it, but in my mind, I did mean things. I wished mean things. I frustration was inside of my soul a little bit, right?
Well, you thought they duped you. They thought that they were like, yeah, we'll give you this money, come to the event and do it. And then you do it, and then you're like, and then they just go blank.
Just come speak, come listen, come give a 1 hour motivational speech to our kids, and you do it, and all the parents are like, oh, it's awesome. And you feel like it was good, So all that went good. And I totally got stiff, quote unquote, So fast forward, I checked and I saw that money, and I'm gonna say it like this, people. I did some very adulting things as of late. Just some bills. And I don't want to say bills. Some things you got to take care of. They're gonna cost money, and you don't want to do it, Brian. But you're never gonna get caught up unless you take care of these things. And if you wait, like every month you wait, it's going to get worse and worse, blah, blah. So I did some adult things within the last 2 months where I just like caught up, and it was like one of those, you're gonna be broke for the next month, Marcus. Like I knew this was gonna be a struggle month, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what
Go ahead. Do you do this too, real quick? Kind of like side note. When you get a big bill, even though you have enough money to pay it, you sit on it for a while just because you don't want to spend that much money at once. See it come out of your account.
Brian, you know what we're talking about here. You know, like you know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this is one of the times where I just, you know what? Let me take care of this, take care of that, take care of that. I'm gonna have to take care of that. So I'm gonna take care of that, take care of that. So I was feeling some kind of way just in general. But you know, I was feeling a lot more relieved because I'm like, that was the mature thing to do, Marcus. But you can't look, you're not gonna be doing a lot of having fun this month, right? So anyway, money was in there. Then I felt guilty, but I'm like, this was an awesome time to get this payment. Right. So excuse me. It reminded me of the feeling of finding that money in your pocket. Real quick, did one come to your mind?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's always like, so I stack my clothes, and like I have like a beanbag chair, like from when I was a kid, but it basically is like my spot that I throw my dirty clothes before I throw them down, you know, go do laundry. And so basically they sit in a pile on top of this beanbag chair. And I usually switch out the clothes like based on the season. So like, you know, when it's summer, it's all shorts and t-shirts and stuff like that. But when it's winter, it's like sweatpants and sweatshirts and stuff like that. And every now and then a pair of shorts will get stuck there through the winter, or like a pair of sweatpants will get stuck there through the summer. And then I'll go to switch them and I'll be like, oh wow, I was like, I've been looking for these pants for a while. And I'll go in them and I'll have like $40 in there and I'll be like, yes. Like this $40 has been sitting on the bottom of this pile for 6 months and I didn't even know I had it.
Do you remember a particular time where you were like really needed it and it just hit you at the perfect time?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Every
so
time.
Actually, I do remember a couple times where I was like, I'm hurting. And I literally went searching. This has been a while, but I knew my pile routine, and I knew it was a common thing that change of the seasons, I find money, and I was like, I'm gonna go find that money right now. I was like, and I just start throwing clothes off the pile, and I'm like, all right. And I find one that it's got like $30, and I was like, sweet, we're going to lunch. Let's go.
No, I was a couch diver before. Like,
yeah.
Let me see what I got in my.
I'm also
a
guy who I put, and I know it's not great to do because it takes some of your money, but I used one of my ESPN glasses that we got here, one of the big beer stein mugs that we got, or the tall beer glasses that we got several years back. Sit it on my dresser, and every time I come home, I put my change in it. And then once it fills up, I take it up to the bank and I put it in the coin machine. And I'm like, man, there's $75, $80. I'm like, I didn't know that added up so quick.
I am a Coinstar. Like Coinstar is funner than slot machines.
Yeah. But it's awesome. And then you're like, yeah, I got $80. And then you're like, oh, but they're taking 10 of them.
You better not be worried.
I just want to roll my own money.
Right. I did enjoy that too when I was doing. Okay, getting back to it. If you're just joining us, we kind of talked about the roster situation. I guess I turned into more or less a bleeding heart. Some agree with me. Some think the talent acquisition business never stops. But we talked about it in the first hour. I was happy with kind of going with the roster we have. Because like I said, outside of if Noah Locke absolutely cannot handle any point, that would bother me.
Yeah, then we'd be in a world of hurt.
Not world, because I think L. Ellis can, and I think Jared West can.
But you need at least two ball handlers on the team.
I was gonna say, but I would just my emergency. I have to have at least 3 guys that can run the point guard position. You know what I'm saying? And again,
because honestly, we need to see Ellis and West on the floor at the same time sometimes.
Either way, I need at least 3 guys that can run the point. You know, just on your team. But again, I think Noah Locke came here to want to show that he can do that as well. So we've had a lot of guys here who weren't natural point guards who were switched to the point guards in emergency situations and being able to. Tony Hicks kind of jumps to mind. We were watching him. God, I wish he never hurt his hand. Donovan Mitchell did a great job when he moved the point. And again, my only point is non-natural point guards being able to emergency move into the point guard situation. We have had that. And another thing as far as roster. I was asked this question last night. Actually, I was requested to ask this question on the show this week, so I will throw it out there since we are talking basketball roster situation. Russ was not a natural point guard, but did play spot duty at the point. And I know this is such a summer question to ask. One, we've already asked it, but has it changed? Is why I'm asking it today. One matchup that you would pay to see in practice. One battle from this point until the season starts. Which one battle? 8150-939 is the number. 3831-939 is the text line. One matchup from this point, from July 19th to Louisville Live or whatever, as the season hits. What's the matchup you want to see?
All right, I know this is it's not the big wow factor.
Hold on, get that, because I'll talk about mine real quick. If I were going to go to matchup, at first, of course, I went front court. I went front court because I'm going to need my team to be, put it this way, with the new passing, with the new up tempo, I think I need less of a floor general now. So just for starters, you got to know my matchup is going to come from the front court. I think, because again, I think everybody's going to have to get the ball up the court fast. I don't think it's going to be one.
Just going in general, or are you picking two people?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to pick two people. Okay. But I'm saying I was, when I was trying to narrow down the matchup, and has it changed from before? The matchup that I would pay to see on a daily basis has changed, because now that I factor in the new style of play, it kind of changed my matchup a little bit. But before I get to that answer, you have yours, I have mine. Let's check the phone lines real quick. Jim, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
On the matchup, I know you're probably going to be, your change is going to lean towards the guards, but I want to see Mike James and Sam Williamson go at it. I want to see Mike James' energy, what kind of effect it has on Sam. See if it makes Sam a little more, kind of swell up a little bit, I guess is what I'm looking for. Because we know Sam has game in him. We've seen the 20 rebound, damn near 20-point game, and we know what he's capable of, but he seems so low key.
Right.
And I think Mike James' energy and kind of just aggression that we see on highlights, I want to see what effect that has on Sam.
Would you be incredibly disappointed if Mike James had Sam coming off the bench?
No, I don't think I'd be disappointed. I think, I like Sam a lot, but it comes down to, hey, what are you bringing? And what's going with this up tempo? If the energy guy outplays you in practice and earns that spot, he earns that spot. Now, what an elite player is going to do, he's going to respond to that, and he's going to get that spot back. So that's why I'm interested to see what they do.
Jim, I appreciate the call. That was an incredibly mature response. When you talk about a guy pushing,
he almost nailed what I was going to say, but I have mine's slightly different.
Okay, we'll get to that. Chris, thanks for joining us on Middays with Marques Maybin. Fire away.
So I have two of them. It's between, definitely, I think the number one is Withers and JJ. Mm-hmm. That's definitely one. I would love to see that every day, man. And then the second one is Jared West and L. Ellis. I feel like that they both bring something different to the table. So that one I would love to see, but definitely the JJ and the Withers every day, man. Give me that all day.
Okay, well, Chris, I appreciate the call.
I knew somebody was going to bring up both of those.
Right. The Withers and JJ. No, Chris, I understand why you say that.
I agree. I'm with you.
Why say you?
I think I get what he's saying because they're both very good players and they're both going to be very good, but I still think that Withers has got the edge there. That it's JJ knows he's probably going to be the backup this year, and then after this year is going to be his time to shine. And I feel like I kind of feel like JJ is the Withers of a year ago. And what I mean by that is, Withers took a year off to get ready because he needed to physically get up to speed for college basketball. I feel like JJ's in a similar spot. Now, if he's meaning like he can learn a lot from Jalen because they've been in the same spot, I think that 100% is true. Up right now.
I would be incredibly disappointed if I saw practices of Jalen and JJ and I felt like JJ had already accepted that Jalen Withers was going to start over.
No, I mean, I agree. You don't want him to think that.
Right.
I think like indirectly, I think people kind of know. Like as a fan base, we kind of know, all right, Jalen's got that spot. JJ's year's next year.
And with that matchup, I think they've already had, like, look, with short staffed year or short depth year, I think we've pretty much seen what those two going against each other can bring out. Malik's out, Gabe's out. They've been going against each other in Aiden and Gahan. So I think we've maxed out the improvement of those two guys going on against each other.
I like his other one
with L. Ellis and Jared West. It's one of those things like I don't know how much better L. Ellis is going to make Jared West. I believe that Jared West can make L. Ellis a lot better. Like Jared West has all the veteran moves. He has all the hand placement to stop. Like I said, Jared West has probably seen a lot of L. Ellis's, but L. Ellis hasn't seen a lot of Jared West. So I think the learning is going to go one direction.
He's the veteran.
Yeah. I think, again, the quicker L. Ellis steals all of Jared West's kind of OG moves and things like that. Again, Jared without the size, Jared without the speed, but the experience and IQ, the more that you can get L. Ellis to really just focus on attacking Jared West on a daily basis, the better off both of them will be. It'll keep Jared West sharp where he needs to be. It'll keep him playing around a high level of athlete, which he will be playing. That's probably the only thing that's going to improve, or not improve. Kind of improve. The L. Ellis speed is ACC high level athleticism and guard. And I don't know if I could agree, or I could be certain Jared West didn't play against that level of guard on a daily basis. So, more or less keeping Jared West sharp and not complacent and getting comfortable. I think that's what L. Ellis would bring to that battle. But
I'm with you. I think that West is going to teach Ellis a lot, but Ellis has the higher ceiling. I agree with that. And I think that West is the safer pick. I think they can learn from each other, but I think that there's kind of an understanding that, hey, you're the mentor and you're the mentor.
Yeah, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think Jared West is going to be voluntarily teaching.
No, I think Jared West probably starts at the beginning of the year. I think maybe holds on to the spot for the whole year, depending upon how well he does.
Through competition, I think L. Ellis is going to learn a lot messing with Jared West. But like I said, I think Jared West is good. Again, put aside how he's a great teammate and he's a great guy and he's a great leader. And Matt Cross said he's like the grandfather of the team and all that. They'll be. Go ahead.
You kind of wish you could combine the two of them because, like the caller said, they're two different style of players. West is a good offensive player with an exceptional defense, and Ellis is a better offensive player with okay defense.
Yeah, I just need Ellis to learn everything, every trick in the book he can from Jared West, because his ceiling is so. Jackson, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I guess my question with this, how up-tempo are they going to be if they're still playing the pack line? So are we going to still see the pack line? Is it going to be an evolution of the pack line? Because if guys can't step in the passing lanes to get steals and they're playing more of that conservative defense, you can't really get out in transition. So how are they going to be able to do
that? I appreciate the call. You can. You can. your offense to defense. Okay, transition. I talked about it last week. We talked about Coach Crum using the thicker cotton nets just so the ball gets stuck in the net. So even after like made baskets, having the ball gets stuck in the rim. Tempo is not necessarily about steals. Tempo is get it out, push it up the floor, probe the defense, see if there's an easy bucket there with movement, and then you can bring it out. So the pack line, you don't have to like walk it up because you play pack line defense. The pack line defense is nothing at the basket and challenging the shots. There's kind of a misnomer, like the pack line is just sit back in a zone and just make sure everybody checks up threes the whole time. It's not a high gamble thing, but it is a zero. It's a lot of help. It's a lot of zero penetration to the paint, so, and here's the thing. Once you get that shot, that's what good transition teams do. Transition breaks. Go look at every year of Carolina or Duke. Like I'm sure you know this, Jackson, but a missed shot and you have a transition already set up. Your wings are looking for sidelines. Your big man is looking for space. They're setting their transition off missed shots. Pack line defense gets you a lot of missed shots. Challenging the shot, get a lot of missed shots, getting the rebound. As soon as you rebound, you run and stay spread. So they are not dependent on each other. Gambling for the ball, that you don't have to gamble to be an up tempo offense. They're independent. Sometimes they play off each other, but you get my point. The matchup that I would really, really just pay to see. This is going to be so much fun. The matchup that I would pay to see until the season starts. This is health related. Roosevelt Wheeler, Sydney Curry. Roosevelt Wheeler, Sydney Curry.
You're going. You didn't pick my guys, but you're going the same route that I'm going. I'm not elaborating on starters.
Roosevelt Wheeler and Sydney Curry, and the way they play against each other is going to determine what is it? Rising tide lifts all boats. The intensity level, if Roosevelt Wheeler is, I don't know how soon he's able to go full speed, but the moment he can go full speed, that's the one I want to see, because that will determine what my team can look like. Sydney Curry, the potential he has, Roosevelt Wheeler, the potential he has. And again, and maybe I can be convinced another matchup is better. I think those two dudes, if you see those guys fighting each other day in, day out, I think, okay, it's like I had Nate Johnson and Alex Sanders, right? They kind of two really physical guys, right? Now, when those two fought each other hard, it was going to be a fun practice, because it means like, they're kind of like your Ellis and Jared West, right?
Okay.
Just they're kind of, they were leaders of the team, you know what I'm saying? Alex was kind of like that leader for the camera. Hey, just give me the ball, Alex.
Come on, Alex.
Yeah, he would be the one holding up his fingers like, come get the ball, try to make those gestures and stuff, right? I hate gesture guy, right? Yeah. Right. Listen, on the court where you want the ball, right? And he'll make you run all the way to him to come get it. And he does the everybody slow down thing and just hold, give me the damn ball so we can go. You're right. But listen, you got to do that for the camera a little bit. So I get it, right? Nate, and while Nate is like when Nate Johnson had like heavy energy, when he had a chip on his shoulder, like naturally everybody got a little hyper, just kind of like one of those guys on your team. Like, he really wants this today. Like, let's go, let's go. Right. So those were but they didn't like really bump heads a lot. Right. But when they did start bumping heads, it was like, now we're gonna our best basketball runs were when Nate and Alex didn't like each other, like when they were mad at each other or they were being feisty in practice, that's when you knew it was on. So I think there's a little personality, like, okay, Roosevelt Willer's kind of bubbly, right? He's bubbly. According to reports, he's the joyful guy, the brighten up the room guy. We don't know how Sidney Curry is, right? No. But when you see him play and you see his disposition, you think he may be a little feistier.
Yeah, you think he might be mean.
Yeah, and coming out of junior college, it takes a little of your brightness. Like you go to junior college, high schooler, and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna be here for a year, and I'm gonna go and you got a chip on your shoulder because you're not at Kansas or wherever you were supposed to go. Yeah. And junior colleges facilities suck. The classrooms suck. The weight room sucks. If you've been on a Division I university campus and then you got to go to junior college, it's just the worst realization in human history. I actually cried, Brian. I cried not cried.
Because your high school gym was nicer than the JUCO gym?
Oh, God, listen. I was going to Tennessee, Brian, and Tennessee sent me to, I don't even want to say the school. I'm sure people have heard me say it before. Maybe they're great now, but Brian, I went to this school, right? And I was supposed to go there in like, a couple of weeks. The coach came down to Clarksville, picked me up. It's not that far of a drive, a couple of hours, but I want you to see the campus and see. Oh my God, Brian.
Horrible.
Listen, the beds, at the foot of the bed, they had holes cut out in the closet because your feet needed more room.
Players were too tall.
Yeah, right. But so all the closets were right at the foot of the bed. They had holes cut out in the closet so your feet would be inside. You could lay in your bed and reach out and touch the other bed. And when I saw some of the rooms, and if a guy had a bicycle, the bicycle was in between the beds, and it was like I couldn't breathe in that place. Could you imagine smelling your roommate's breath at night? Just that's how small those dorm rooms were. It's gross.
Luckily, Denny came along.
Right. A little bit saved my life. But listen, on the way home, I remember, Brian, on the way home, I was looking out the window and this coach was in my ear like, yeah, I know the facilities, they need a little work. And he's just, and he's talking. I'm looking out the window. It's raining, Brian. And I got these tears dropping down.
You were just like, coach was talking, but it wasn't even going. It was going in one ear and out the other because you were just in your own world.
I was like Marcus, you really screwed up, right? You really, really, really screwed up. So, point being, junior college raises savages a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Because you put me there on that group. You're in that place. Listen, actually, in hindsight, Brian, I probably should have went there, right? Mm-hmm. I'd have went there and I'd have went to the league after the first year because that would have made me serious about it.
You would have been done with the Tennessee Volunteers too. You'd be like, I'm done.
I would have went to that school and I'd have probably worked harder than any man ever in the sport of basketball to get out of this place. Like, this is hell. This is basketball hell. Probably would have been the best thing that ever happened. So anyway, junior college makes a different type of person. And if you get Roosevelt with his body and his God-given stuff and his, if you get his feistiness and his motor and you get Sidney Curry and those guys like almost fighting each other on a daily basis, Malik's hype. Gabe is seeing how hard they're battling. He's getting aggressive. JJ, Jalen, everybody starts feeding off the aggressive. If those two, the young guy and Sidney Curry, who's supposed to be the man, like you get those two battling each other really, really hard.
I like it.
Boy, I'm telling you.
You want mine?
Let's get it after the break. Last commercial break. Middays with Marques Maybin on 939 The Bill.
Hey, Cards fans. Zach here with Great Flood Brewing Company. We are so excited to have reopened bar seating at both locations. Stop by and enjoy a Great Flood brewed beer at our Highlands tap room or sit down at our reconfigured bar in Middletown for a burger, pizza, cocktail, or beer. We're thankful to have weathered the past year with you all. We love cheering on the Cards with you and are incredibly appreciative of your continued business. Go Cards.
Hey everybody, Steve Rummage here, and if you have listened to 93.9 The Ville over the last few months, you know I've reminded you of 3 simple words. Call Josh Jarbo. Josh is a licensed realtor and owner of RE/MAX Alliance, and with the spring market heating up, he wants to make your home buying or selling process as efficient as possible by offering a guaranteed sale program and instant offers on commercial listings. And if that wasn't enough, up to $5,000 seller credit by mentioning you heard it right here. So don't wait any longer and contact Josh Jarbo at 502-216-7590 or joshjarbo@remax.net.
When we come to Genesis Diamonds, we feel special. We feel like we're family.
Meet physician and hospital administrator Herman Williams, who came to Genesis Diamonds just looking for something for his wife.
We've been married 28 years, and she has everything, so it's hard to know what to pick out.
What he loved about Genesis was the guidance he got from sincere, caring people.
They try to advise you on how old is your wife, how long you've been married, what does she have.
Herman's now a frequent customer who loves the Genesis prices, but even more, the Genesis experience.
You just want a trusted advisor, and that's what I feel these guys are. The sense of family, the people really care, the genuineness. When I walked out of here, I said, I'm coming back,
Great people, amazing quality product, outstanding value, and free service for life.
I've come here to have some work done. Well, how much is that? There's no cost. I mean, when was the last time you came and had anything done anywhere where they said, hey, no charge?
Genesis Diamonds.
I'm coming back.
Shelbyville Road Plaza.
We are Louisville's hometown sports station. ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville, with the most play-by-play of the biggest events, including the NCAA tournament and Final Four.
Wire-to-wire winner for the Baylor Bears.
The College Football National Championship.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
The NFL and Super Bowl 54.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl 55 champions, led by Tom Brady.
The NBA Finals.
The Lakers conquer the bubble.
The World Series.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series.
And the Kentucky Derby.
And they're into the stretch.
Featuring exclusive coverage of the Triple Crown. Big game, big race, one place. ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville.
Now that sports have officially kicked off, there's only 4 things missing from your playbook. 4 pegs. Looking for great smoked wings? 4 pegs. Looking for juicy...
I got it. 1 second.
Really? 4 pegs. If you're just looking for some cold crab, tap, can, or bottled beer, 4 pegs. And the best part about 4 pegs is...
I think Charles got
at 1053 Goss Avenue in Germantown. So you better...
That was like the Puerto Rico shootout after your first game, right?
Be sure to ask about their food truck and other catering services.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, We got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/LOVE.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
Next line 3831 939. I bet you can't identify what instrumental that is. First person, I will read out your comment and shout out to any business or anybody you want. If you can, the first guy to identify on the text line where that instrumental comes from, I will give you an individual shout out. Title of the song. Title of the song. You go ahead and grab that. If the caller beats the texter, we'll see. It's a race. Identify the song. It is an instrumental. Did they already identify it? Did the caller win? Okay, they're not calling. Texter, can you identify this instrumental? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who do we got on the phone line?
We got Chris.
Chris, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away, my man.
What's up, Maybin B-Hall?
I'm feeling good.
Hey, B-Hall, I need you to check over in that seat and see who's sitting over there, because that's the softest Maybin I've ever heard.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
Don't need
about.
no more players. I'm like, who is it? I hope he's like this when he grades.
Listen, and here, what you're saying is 100% fair. Listen, convince me that I'm wrong.
Okay, here's my matchups. I think you guys went totally to the obvious. The thing that has to be established are the two. The person who's going to come in. Coaches tell you all the time the wine's wide open. We know that's not true. Maybe you knew you were starting. The matchups are going to be between JJ, Dre, and I always forget the kid from Miami.
Matt Cross.
Matt Cross. Those guys are going to have to battle each other out to figure out who's the two. Maybe you remember when you came to practice and you get the rotations, you get the starters, and you get the next guys, and then you have the guy sitting on the sideline. The guy sitting on the sideline ain't going to get no playing time. So he's going to have to work real hard to be in that 1-2 group. So your matchups are not going to be Sam's got the biggest target he's ever had in his life. Last year, Quinn just wasn't good enough to replace him. This year, they've got three dudes. If he goes to sleep, he may never see the court again. So he's got to get it together, because JJ, Coker, Dre, they all shooting for his spot. So he's got to play, or else he's going to find himself on the third line. That's what I think is going to be the matchup. It's the guys who are battling for the two to replace the one. I'll get off and I'll listen to you.
Listen, no, Chris, I appreciate the call. I still didn't get the exact look, because we took the call and I thought the caller beat the text line. We did. You can't say big timers. So who do I need to give the shout out to? Let's see. The first one. Let me see real quick, Brian. Who got it right? Who got it right? Actual instrumental. The song. You know I meant the song. I got big timers. Wait, somebody said Millionaire Dream. Yes, it is Millionaire Dream, but I could not tell who got it first. But anybody who answered Millionaire Dream, give me a shout out.
Dang
to say,
winner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, give me a quick shout out, or give me what you want shouted out real quick. And I'll respond to that. But while I'm doing that, let me pass along one more message. The athletes have trained and are in Tokyo, ready to compete for the gold. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is giving you a shot to stand on the podium. This week, DraftKings is giving you 100-1 odds on the United States medaling at least once this year. Place any pre-event wager of $1 to be eligible to cash $100 in free credits. If America wins any medal this year, that's 100 to 1 odds on an American athlete to stand on a podium and receive a gold, silver, or bronze. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook now and get in all of the action. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code WLCL when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in free credits if America wins a medal. That's code WLCL for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. So, after we talked about all of our other one-on-one matchups, one texter did. I think he won the competition by saying,
still haven't given mine.
I know I'm jumping to you. Sidney Curry versus all the big men. I like that answer because I do kind of agree with that. I would do want Sidney Curry to elevate the physicality. Okay, fire away, B-Hall.
All right, so mine is more along the lines that you were going, where it's more of a backup battle.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really interested to see the Matt Cross Mike James battle because I think unless one of them can actually play more of the two, I think that they're going to be competing for a lot of playing time. Like you could see a 3-guard rotation of West, Locke, and Ellis with one of these guys factoring in there. But when you got these two guys plus sorry, I thought that was Phelps.
Yeah, I know, right.
For a second.
I was checking out too. I got distracted as well.
Anyways, yeah, I think that these two guys are competing for the backup role behind Samuel Williams, and I think they could end up earning more minutes if one of them is able to play more of the guard position, which could be a possibility. But I also think that these are two extremely different kinds of players. I think that, Matt Cross is going to be more of a spot-up shooter, kind of that type stuff, and Mike James is going to use his athleticism. I think that Cross has the experience. Mike James has the higher ceiling. It's one of those type things. So I think that it's very similar to what we talked about with L. Ellis and Wes. I think Mike James is going to be learning from Matt Cross some of the tricks of the trade. Matt Cross will get the nod early on, but James has the higher ceiling to potentially take over.
If James is a lockdown defender and Matt Cross is a knockdown shooter, which player do you think Coach Mack would like more?
The lockdown defender?
I don't know about that.
I don't know. He likes the three ball too.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a 3-and-D guy,
Listen, he wanted some shooting. He went out recruited, so he wanted shooters. And that was a serious. Like I didn't have an answer to that when I asked you that in particular. But sometimes it does depend on what the coach likes in particular. I want to give one other shout out really quick, y'all. The guy that first put the thought in my head that something like radio could be possible. Before I even got to college, everybody knows this guy. It's a posthumous birthday, but I do want to give a shout out because here's the thing, y'all. I could not let this day go by without playing possibly the greatest moment in my sports life. And this guy, this was my guy. This is what your dreams were made of. In 19, I don't even want to say the year. In this year, this moment happened in my hotel. I was watching television. I was just sitting there watching television, and the greatest moment in my sports life happened. And my stomach, like I still get butterflies thinking about this moment. Brian,
you still get hang on one second.
Oh yeah. I was
It's like, what moment? What moment are you talking about, man? Just say it. 1 second.
Do I need to go ahead? Okay, yeah. Look. Brian was supposed to have that ready to go. I said, come on, man. I'm gonna set it up to my greatest sports moment, and I had to give this shout out again. It's a posthumous happy birthday. So most of you may know the moment I'm talking about, but if you don't, this is the guy that convinced me maybe I could do radio broadcasting one day after I had this moment, because this guy is must see appointment TV. Take it away, Brian.
Averaged almost twice as many points last year as the Cardinals shooting guard from last season. And that guy was DeJuan Wheat. Shorty scored more than 2,000 career points. Of course, Marques Maybin was a 30-point-a-game high schooler last year. Now he's just the 11th freshman to start in Denny Crum's 27-year coaching career. The number 19 Cardinals, the only ranked team in the Puerto Rico shootout, facing Hofstra.
Oh, my God. Stuart Scott, shout out to the GOAT.
Man, that was cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Right? Shout out to the GOAT, Stuart Scott. I'm telling y'all, he changed the sports game commentary universe.
He's still my favorite SportsCenter ESPN guy.
He was the best, man. And again, he broke the mold of you don't have to be tight suit. You don't have to be Queen's English. Guy, you didn't have to speak, in I don't want to say you don't have to be obsessed with proper grammar. You can bring in some pop culture. You can bring in, his grammar is impeccable when he wanted it to be, but he showed how you can purposely use your slang and your loose language and imply your jokes and your personality into the coverage of sports. I think he really was a trailblazer, and I do enjoy that people do show him the necessary kind of salutes, that he really did change the game. But yeah, he was the first guy that made me think this could be something you can do because he really broke the mold. And that was just a great thing. So yeah, shout out to Stuart Scott. And when I saw that, Brian, I almost died. I was watching TV and that came on TV and I was like, oh my God. And then I just jumped and put my face in the pillow because I didn't want people to hear me scream. Look, and then I called home and then nobody would answer. And I was like, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? You can't have that moment, Brian, in your first game of your college career and expect to be a normal human being. Yeah, I think the last answer of Sidney Curry versus everybody was probably the best answer, because I do think his matchups are going to be the most important. The physicality. I don't expect one person to change the